All right. So, page 4. Genesis 5, verse 8. And all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. So I guess he lived to be 912 years old. And Enos' descendants. And Enos lived 90 years and begat Canaan. And Enos lived after he begot Canaan 815 years, apparently, and begot sons and daughters. So Enos lived 90 years and then begot Canaan. And then after he begot Canaan, apparently he lived 815 years, which, no, he didn't. No one lives that long. And all the days of Enos were 905 years, and he died. Guys, I'm already confused. Why the fuck are we doing this? What the fuck does this mean? Enos' descendants. Genesis 5, verse 9. And Enos lived 90 years. That makes sense. Dude was old as shit, right? And begot Canaan, right? Like, he begot, which means he had a son. He had, or whatever, whoever Canaan is. He had a child after, within his 90 years. But then it says, and Enos lived after he begot Canaan 815 years, and begot sons and daughters, I guess outside of Canaan. And all the days of Enos were 905 years, and he died. So here's what I'm asking. With all the modern science and medicine and how long people are living these days, do you really think people back here in Genesis 5, 8, and 9, and 10, and 11 were living like 815 and 905 years? Actually, which one is it? Let's digress. Okay. And Enos lived 90 years. That makes sense. And begat Canaan. That makes sense too, I guess, at some point. And Enos lived after he begot Canaan. So I guess after 90? Or, at some point during his 90-year span after he begot Canaan, he lived 815 years and begot sons and daughters. Which no one lives to be 815 years old. That doesn't happen. Unless you're like Dr. Manhattan. And all the days of Enos were 905 years. And he died. Canaan's descendants. Because we're just gonna go on from that. And Canaan lived 70 years. And begot Mahalalel. Mahalalel. And Canaan lived 70 years and begot Mahalalel. 70 years sounds more like a human lifespan than 905 years. And Canaan lived after he begot Mahalalel 840 years and begot sons and daughters. Don't forget that. And all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. Guys, listen. I don't know if this is just like trying in a roundabout way to say like what their legacy was, were their sons and granddaughters and shit like that, and that's how they lived 900 years. But like, I don't know. This is the King James version, but like, this don't make no motherfucking sense. Like, no one, like, come on. Alright, let's, each page takes me 36 minutes to read because it don't make no motherfucking sense. Okay, alright. And all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. And Enos lived 90 years, and begot Canaan. And Enos lived, after he begot Canaan, 815 years, and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Enos were 905 years, and he died. Of course. After 905 years, who wouldn't? And Canaan lived 70 years, which makes sense, and begot Mahalalel. And Canaan lived, after he begot Mahalalel, 840 years, and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. So, I'm having trouble figuring out if the motherfucker lived 910 years, or if that's just his, like, family line, his family tree, his legacy, right? Like, he lived 70 years, and the motherfucker before him lived 90 years, and that's cool. That makes sense. That's a little long for that period, but that 70 and 90, like, people live to be that long. Human lifespan makes sense with that. But when it's talking about, like, 840 years, and then begat sons and daughters, and then all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. See, when it puts, and he died, at the end of that, that leads me to believe that the motherfucker lived 910 years, which he didn't. We can go ahead and classify that in the book of facts. That motherfucker did not live 910 years, so I'm confused. Someone tell me that. Comment your comments in the comments, and smash that dislike button. And Mahalalel lived 65 years, and begot Jared. Jared. It's kind of like Seth. Jared. Mahalalel. Listen to that name. Canaan and Mahalalel. Right? And then he begot Jared. Jared. And Mahalalel lived, after he begat Jared, 830 years. And, of course, he begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years. And he died. So, I'm gonna stop questioning it. I'm just gonna let you guys tell me what that fucking means. If you want to. Jared's descendants. Oh god, this is gonna go on and on, isn't it? Oh god, here we go. And Jared lived 162 years. No, he didn't. No. Not unless he's like a fucking a replicant. And Jared lived 162 years, and he begot Enoch. Did we already do this? Enos. No, never mind. Enoch. And Jared lived, after he begot Enoch, 800 years, and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. This is fucking... Okay. And Enoch lived 65 years. So, here's my thing. Enoch, right? Let's just... Fuck all the shit before. Enoch lived 65 years. So that's 65 years. And he begot Methuselah, right? 300 years. And he begot sons and daughters. So, did Enoch live 65 years after he had Methuselah within his 65 years? He's an old man. Methuselah is grown and shit at this point. And, it doesn't make sense, dude. Nobody lives 962 years and then dies. Okay, and Enoch lived 65 years. 65. And begot Methuselah. I guess he had Methuselah at 65, which is an old-ass age to be pumping out that cum dump. You know what I'm saying? And Enoch walked with God after he begot Methuselah 300 years. He walked with God for 300 years. That makes more sense. If they would have put this, he walked with God after he begot so-and-so, that would make more sense. Like maybe he died and he was in heaven for that many years, or maybe God kept them alive for that many years, but that doesn't say that before now. He walked with God for 300 years after he begot Methuselah, and he begot sons and daughters. All the days of Enoch were 365 years. That's how many days are in a year. And what happened to the 900,000 billion days and years that other people lived? And Enoch walked with God. He was not, for God took him. Wait. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Wait. What does that mean? And Enoch lived 65 years and begot Methuselah. Right? He's a grandpa now. Methuselah's grown. Methuselah's having babies and shit. And Enoch walked with God after he begot Methuselah. Okay, so he had the baby. He walked with God for 300 years. And he begot sons and daughters, I guess, maybe in the afterlife or spiritually or something. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years, right? And okay, so, I mean, that's more believable than 900. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God, I guess, maybe again after that. And he was not. So maybe he didn't. I don't know. For God took him. So God took him before or after the 300. We're just going to mosey on past that. Methuselah's descendants. And Methuselah lived 187 years. No. No one lives that long. Methuselah lived 187 years and begat Lamech. And Methuselah lived after he begot Lamech 782 years. And he begot, of course, sons and daughters. We don't talk about the sons and daughters. We just talk about the one that we're talking about when we're talking about living an obnoxiously long, fucking unrealistic lifespan, I guess. Oh, and all the days of Methuselah were 969 years. And he died. He was almost 1,000. So I guess people used to live to be like 1,000 back then. And they had a son that they begat, you know. And then after they begat that son, they lived long, long times begatting sons and daughters. Not to be named, I guess. And then they lived like 1,000 years. And then they died. Some walked with God, I guess. One of the guys walked with God for like 300 years. Which, all that makes way more sense than all this other shit. And Lamech's descendants. Genesis 5, chapter 28. And Lamech served in 182 years. And begat a son. 182 years? He only had one little motherfucker? And he called his name Noah. Oh, that's where Noah came from. Okay. Saying, this same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because of the ground which the Lord hath cursed. When did the Lord curse the land? I don't know. And Lamech lived, after he begat Noah, 595 years, and he begat sons and daughters after Noah. They don't matter. Noah matters. They don't matter. But he lived for like 500, or like 600 years after he begat Noah. And he begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Lamech were 777 years. And he died. I guess that's the lucky number. Lamech, Noah's dad, lives to be 777. Begat sons and daughters that don't matter. But he did say, the same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because of the ground which the Lord hath cursed. Maybe I need to start the whole thing over again, because I don't remember the Lord cursing any land. Anyways, Noah's descendants. And Noah was 500 years old. And Noah begat Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now here we go. Here's something that's like getting into like, it's super unrealistic, but it's more realistic than 900-year-old motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And Noah was 500. Just a straight even 500. 500. His dad lived to be 777, but he lived to be 500. Right? And he had 3 sons, I guess. Shem, Ham. Ham, that's right. Ham, like the meat. And Japheth. And it came to pass, this is Genesis chapter 6, and it came to pass when man began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them. So I guess there were no, I mean, we had sons and daughters from each motherfucker for 900 years before this, but now we're specific on the sons and daughters. So, and daughters were born unto them. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, and they were fair. So, like, they were hot? Like, they're looking at their kids like they're fine or something? Like, that's kind of weird. And they took them wives of all which they chose. What the absolute... Bro, what the... What does that mean, dog? Someone please comment your comment down in the comments. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, after 900 billion years of 900-year-old motherfuckers with sons and daughters, but now we're talking about, like, I guess the daughters didn't matter until now that the daughters matter, and that their daughters were born unto them, and that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. So, from what I'm gathering, these dudes live to be like 65 years, and then like 830 years after that, and they begot sons and daughters, and then 890 years after that they died, and blah 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 blah. They kept doing that for like a long time, even though they kept having sons and daughters. It says that. Sons and daughters, sons and daughters, sons and daughters, sons and daughters. Methuselah, sons and daughters. Lamech, sons and daughters. Noah doesn't say anything about sons and daughters. He's actually got a really short verse. Genesis 5, chapter 32. He's got like a real itty bitty thing there. It's just like he had like Shem, Ham, and Japheth. He was only 500. So like that makes more sense. But then we get to this. Man's wickedness. Which, yes, I would fucking agree, man's wickedness, when we go down to this. Genesis chapter 6. Man's wickedness. Holy shit, does this sound kind of fucked up. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, which I thought they had already done for like 1,000 years each, or whatever, and had sons and daughters, and daughters were born unto them. So I guess now there's daughters. Even though there was daughters before, now we're talking about the daughters. But now that we're talking about the daughters, the sons of God saw that the daughters of men, and that they were fair, and they took them wives, of which all they chose. I mean, what the fuck does that even mean? Are they taking their own daughters, who are hot, and making them their wives? Is that what the Bible's telling me right now? That's kind of fucking... And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be an 120 years. 120 years. So now I guess he's saying, like, you guys are fucking your daughters and making them your wives. Now you don't get to live to be 800 and 900 years old. Now you're fucking your daughters and making them your wives and stuff. And so now you only get to be 120, which is still an unrealistic goal to reach, you know? I'll never reach 120. Most of us. Anybody that listens to this is never going to be 120 years old. But there were giants in the earth in those days. No, there wasn't, but okay. And also after that, when the sons of God came unto the daughters of men, which came in unto the daughter. When the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, which is fucking gross, and they bear children unto them. What? So they fucked their own daughters, right? They're fucking their own daughter. They're 900 years old. They're fucking their own daughters who are fair. Give them credit. And they're the sons of God. So they get to fuck the women who are their daughters, who are fair, who came in unto the daughters of men. The same... so fucking... What the fuck am I reading? And they bare children to them. The same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. Yeah, it's inbreeding. You're fucking your own daughters, dude. What the fuck am I reading? And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of thoughts in his heart was only evil continually. I would agree with that statement. Listen to this. Genesis, verse 6, chapter 7. No, chapter 4. Verse 6, chapter 4. There were giants in the earth in those days. No, there wasn't. And also after that, when the sons of God came in unto daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. Verse 5, or chapter 5, or chapter 6, verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Yeah, they're fucking their own daughters and getting them preggers. Let that sink in. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on earth, and he grieved him at his heart. Yeah, he probably did. He was probably like, bro, I did not put you down there to live 900 years and fuck your own daughter. Now you only get to be 120, but you're still fucking your own daughter. Now there's giants, I guess, and that's nasty. Don't do that. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, which probably came from the inbreeding, and the creeping thing, which, there it goes again, the creeping thing. We've heard that before, the creeping thing. I don't know what the creeping thing is, but, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. He's basically like, listen, I made dudes and chickens and ducks and geese and all that shit, and the waters from the firmament above the waters of the firmament below the firmament of the waters of the firmament and all that stuff. And now there's giants, and now 900-year-old dudes and 500-year-old dudes, 120-year-old dudes are fucking their own daughters because they're fair and producing little baby offsprings with little bastard children, little mongoloids and shit. Can't say mongoloids. Inbred children, you know? And he's like, I can't be a part of this anymore. Man's wickedness. Yo, you right about that chapter. This is the first time this motherfucker's making sense, you know? But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was just a man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with God. I doubt that motherfucker was perfect. He's fucking his own daughters. And Noah begot three sons. Shem, honey-baked Ham, and Japheth. The earth was also corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. How is that? Wait! Genesis chapter 6, verse 11. Now listen. Now. Whew! This is getting me worked up. The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. Do they mean before God, like in his presence? The earth was corrupt in his presence and filled with violence? Or do they mean before God made the earth? Because that, we're going to have to go back a few pages, because that just completely disregards everything that already happened. That's bad storytelling. So we're going to pretend that means it was corrupt before God, as in, like, we're fucking our daughters and shit down here in front of you, right? And we're violent. God looked upon the earth, and he behold, it was corrupt. For all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. I like how it says his there. All flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, and the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Building the ark. Oh, that's, alright, now we're starting to make sense. Now he's like, y'all are fucking your own daughters. I don't care about Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Y'all are corrupted. You know, behold, you're violent. You're doing it before me. You're doing it in front of my fucking face, and you're fucking your daughters and getting them pregnant. And I'm going to make you, make thee an ark of gopher wood. Rooms shalt thou make in the ark. Thou shalt pitch it within and without with pitch. Wait! Because it's 2021, and this is the Bible for kids who can't read good and who want to learn to do other things good too. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Make an ark out of gopher wood. Rooms shalt thou make in the ark. Make some rooms, right? And shalt pitch it within and without with pitch. thou shalt pitch it in, within, and without with pitch. And shalt pitch it within and without with pitch. Pitch is like, I don't know, like some sort of like tar or something to like make it waterproof or something. You do it within and without. Like, that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna stop fucking around. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make of it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits. Who decided what a cubit was? Because they're fucking their own daughters and they're violent. We don't know what a cubit is at this point. You should explain, God, what a cubit is. The breadth of 50 cubits, so length of 100 cubits, the breadth of 50 cubits, and the height of 30 cubits. What is a cubit? Are we building like a gummy ship, you know? In like that fucking video game with like the fucking Sora or whatever? God damn it, what is that fucking video game called? Fuck, I can't remember. Wait, this is so... Who decided what cubits are? How does man know? How does Noah know what cubits are? Did God come down and explain to him the exact measurements of cubits before this? Because we missed that chapter, you know? Yeah. Make an ark of gopher wood. Rooms thou shalt make in the ark, and thou shalt pitch it within and without with pitch, which is a stupid way of saying that. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make of it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits. 300 cubits, which is feet, maybe? Meters? Maybe 300 meters. We're going to go with meters, with cubits. The breadth of... How's Noah supposed to know what a breadth is? Nobody ever explained this shit to this motherfucker. 50 cubits, 50 meters, and a height of 30 meters. Okay. A window shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit meter shalt thou finish it above. And the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof, with lower, second, the third stories shalt thou make it. Look, I know this is translated, and it's the King James Version and all that shit, but, like, y'all can't give me some proper fucking words here for, like, the layman's terms, for, like, the kids who can't read good and who want to learn to do other things good, too. Listen to this. Look, building the ark. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shalt pitch it within and without with pitch. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make of it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, and the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. A window shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above. And the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof, with lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it. So, in kids who can't read good terms, make a fucking window, and make a door, and make it 3 stories, and make it 30 meters long, or 300 meters long, and 50 meters wide, and 30 meters tall. And make a window, and make 3 floors. That's pretty much, I guess, what they're saying. And behold, I do bring a flood of waters upon the earth, to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. From under heaven, and everything that is earth shall die. He's going to kill everyone for living 900 years or 120 years and fucking their daughters, which they've been having the whole time, but now it's a problem this whole time. After 900, 800, 900, 995, 600, or 962, and 365, and 969, and 595. After all those years of people begatting sons and daughters, now they start fucking their daughters because they think that they're hot. and they want to make babies with them, and then they make babies with them, and God's like, ew, no, dude, we're not doing that. I'm going to flood the waters. Noah, get yourself a boat, 300 meters long, 30 meters tall, 50 meters wide. Make sure you got a big window in there and a door, and make sure that you got like 3 stories in there, because I'm going to flood this motherfucker, and I'm going to kill all the flesh on earth, wherein is breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is on earth shall die. And so that's page 4. That's where we're at. We're getting into the Ark stage, guys. We're going to be doing Noah's Ark in the next read. That's it for now. Thank you very much for listening to this gobbledygook. I don't know. Again, I'd like to re-emphasize that at no point am I trying to make fun of somebody's religion. I'm not trying to make fun of Christianity or make it a farce or shit on anybody's beliefs. This is simply me reading the book of the King James Version of the Bible and trying as hard as my dumbass kids who can't read good mind can make of it. And it's I mean, it's wildin', you know? I mean, you heard it. So, thank you very much. I'll probably read another one again soon. Thank you very much. Love you very much. Bye. Love you like you later.